A total stranger has added you on one of your social media accounts. You think it's all fun and games until you realize that this person who has been messaging you is wanted under further investigation regarding child prostitution and pornography. The thought immediately stops you in your tracks. A gesture so innocent can just as easily be so dangerous. Good afternoon. My name is Madison Harris. The click of a button accessibility that has been brought to us over the past 10 years with social media has posed a huge threat on teens' usage of social media. In response to my curiosity regarding the correlation between social media and sex trafficking, I posed the question, to what extent has social media made human trafficking more accessible to predators and increased the danger for potential victims within the last 10 years in Florida? The two stimuli I chose to use when understanding my question is Social Media and the Movement of Ideas by Edward Kessler and TED Talk Gaming Can Make a Better World by Jane McGonigal. In order to understand the seriousness of human trafficking and how it happens, you first must understand what it is. Human trafficking is the trade of humans for the purpose of forced labor, sexual slavery, or commercial sexual exploitation for the trafficker or others. This $32 billion booming industry has taken a toll on the United States, with Florida being the third most dangerous state for human sex trafficking. You can see in regions such as South Florida that there are huge clusters where human trafficking cases have taken place. And it has come to attention that social media has played a tremendous role in these human trafficking cases. The average age for a human trafficking victim is between 14 and 16 years of age. Traffickers use this age because these teens are naive and they don't understand what is happening to them until it is too late. But how does this relate to social media? 94% of teens use social media nowadays. With the minimum age for most of these apps being 13 years old, these teens do not realize that random strangers have contacted them and are able to message and follow their daily lives without them even knowing. A study done by the University of Toledo shows that traffickers educate themselves by studying what the victim posts on commonly used view and comment sites such as Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, dating apps like Tinder, and webcam apps like Chatterroulette and Monkey. They also pointed out that prior to these social media introductions into our world, it was a lot harder for these traffickers to get a hold of this type of information. Social media, the stimulus Social Media and the Movement of Ideas by Edward Kessler states that social media sites have grown exponentially within the last 5 years, and control has moved away from the hands of the website owners. This is giving accessibility to people who shouldn't have their hands on this type of information, and it has posed a huge threat on these teens. Going back to what I said about how 94% of teens use social media, with Instagram and Snapchat being the two most popular used social media apps, these are the two most dangerous apps for sex trafficking, and teens aren't even aware of the dangers that they could have. When predators look for a victim, their next victim, they look for signs of vulnerability. Teens post things like, nobody gets me, or how do I look? And they commonly respond with things like, I get you, or I think you look beautiful. These teens take these and they assume them as compliments instead of seeing them as a danger, which is very dangerous for them. But the trafficking doesn't just stop here. It has begun to take place through the use of video games such as Minecraft and Fortnite. This is a case that took place in May of 2018 in St. Petersburg, Florida. There were 7 felonies charged of sex trafficking and prostitution in a St. Petersburg mobile home where they took 2 boys captive who had no idea what was happening to them, and they thought they were just going to play video games with their friends from online. The FBI special agent Kevin Kaufman of Orlando said that it's pretty much like an extension of social media. Don't put something out there that you don't want everyone to know. Jane McGonigal from Gaming Can Make a Better World states that the first thing whenever you show up on one of these gaming websites is that you give your trust to random characters who are willing to help you no matter what, which is not good. You're giving your trust to someone who you don't know face to face, and you're allowing them into your life when you've never even met them before. My solution is to educate our teens on the safety precautions that they should take regarding human trafficking on social media. What we can do now. You can be careful what you post online. Also, you can control your privacy settings. Turn your settings to private and make your location not visible to anyone. What you don't want everyone knowing, you don't want on social media at all. Also, you can speak out by using social media for good. A woman from Pinellas County posted a video on Twitter where she let everyone know of a danger that was going on in her hometown of human trafficking. This tweet went viral and everyone found out about the dangers, and they took time to take precautions in their community. Also, it's important to know your options and to reach out to human trafficking hotlines and talk to a well-trusted individual. What could help us in the future? I came up with the idea of including youth safety programs, similar to one that many participated to in elementary school called DARE, where that teaches kids about sex trafficking and social media. Growing up in a world where social media has taken over, we must educate kids on what they are posting and doing online. I conducted a survey of 100 teens that attended Lake Nona High School. 86% of these teens were familiar with DARE, while the other 14% were. I took many of their opinions, and one of them that stood out to me was Maria Salas. She said that growing up, I never understood the dramatic effects that drugs can have on your life until I participated in the DARE program. And still to this day, I remember the stories and videos we watched on how drugs can ruin one's life. While this program has nothing to do with sex trafficking and social media, it's evident that these facts stuck with her throughout her education and her childhood, which we can positively use in our future. I also came up with specific social media safety and acknowledgments. We can use the terms of use that you must sign when you when you create your social media account, and we can include information about how important your privacy settings are. They don't go into detail enough about how important it is to post what you want, post stuff online that you don't want other people knowing, and many people take this for granted. But there are limitations with this. Not all schools will have funding for these youth educational programs, and not all kids will be taught the information. But the flaw that I found in that was, if enough kids are taught about this, the word will be spread, and the less kids who are posting dangerous information online will spread throughout Florida. Also, not all people will take this seriously and do something about it. This is a problem because a lot of people see things as a joke nowadays, and they may not see this as a true problem that's going on, even though it is evident that it is happening left and right. But the people that do take it seriously will understand the effects of it. And posing my question, to what extent has social media made human trafficking more accessible to predators and increased the danger for potential victims within the last 10 years in Florida? I have decided that the accessibility that has come to our fingertips is dangerous for our teens, and if we are not aware, you could be next. Thank you. What questions do you have?
And I have 2 questions for you, Maddie. First up, what information did you need before you began your research, and how did that shape your research?
The information that I needed before my research was, I wasn't familiar with all the human trafficking that was going on in Florida, and I mostly was looking outside in the United States, and so I needed to learn information about how human trafficking is going on in social media, and like the signs that I pointed out on vulnerability and stuff like that within my presentation so that I could use it.
Okay. And what advice would you have for other researchers who consider a topic like this?
The advice that I would have is to focus on a specific area if you are researching this topic, because it's really hard to focus on a big span of area, because I started my presentation talking about the US, and it was too hard to focus on just that focus on that broad of a topic. So I would say go in on a region or community or something and focus on